Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Tenian. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to review Dune Part 2. I am a huge fan of the director Denis Villeneuve's work. Villeneuve really knows how to use special effects and make smart, creative choices on how he's going to use them, and he doesn't just rely on CGI, and that is just what makes this movie stand out among other big blockbusters. He builds sets to scale, he'll build models to scale, he'll use prosthetics, and there always will be a physical anchor or prop. Like, for example, with Stellan Skarsgård's character, he could have just had Skarsgård do motion capture, but he decided to use a prosthetic suit so that Skarsgård would have that relationship with the character. And the special effects, for the most part, are pretty seamless. The action sequences, battle sequences in this film are freaking intense and awesome. There are some really, really incredibly orchestrated battle sequences here. In a big sci fi epic like this, we often give credit to the director, the actors, the writers, as we should. But I also want to give a shout out to the concept artists and designers such as George Hull and Deke Ferrand, who did amazing design work on the two Dune movies. George Hull, for instance, I believe, designed the Ornithopter aircraft, one of the coolest pieces of technology in the movie for me. That aircraft looks so functional and operational. To have that talent to dream and imagine what doesn't exist and then create a design of something completely fabulous, but to make it feel like it could exist, that it could be functional. That is the essence of storytelling for me. And I view these concept artists as storytellers. And credit again to Denis Villeneuve for understanding special effects and assembling a talented team of artists to execute his vision for the movie. It's a big reason that I enjoyed the film so much. Honestly, I didn't have as much of an emotional investment in the movie. Like, I didn't really latch on to any of the characters except for maybe Chani, Zendaya's character, but otherwise, I was a little emotionally detached, and I think maybe the film kind of purposefully keeps you a little bit emotionally detached because this is hard sci-fi and it's throwing a lot of sci-fi concepts at you at once. And so it's really engaging you on a cerebral level and a visual level, but at least for me, not so much on an emotional level. And in terms of Timothée Chalamet, I've always had like kind of a mixed reaction to Chalamet's performances. He's very reserved and holds back emotion a lot. And I think with this character, I can see why he would make choices to kind of rein it in at times because a lot of what Paul is doing in every scene is kind of assessing the situation and plotting and strategizing. So I appreciate like the subtleties of Chalamet's performance, but I think sometimes with Chalamet, at least in this film, and it's just not with him in this film, like he would speak always at a low register, almost a hush or a whisper. And then when he has moments where he's really triggered emotionally, he just starts yelling and screaming. So he's either whispering or like yelling or screaming in this movie, just goes back and forth between those two registers. Do you believe in me? It doesn't always work, and it was also fun to see Christopher Walkin in this movie. He plays the Emperor, and he's the only guy speaking in his regular voice, and I just loved that. Several new characters are introduced, including a new villain named Fade Rotha, played by Austin Butler. This character is pretty sadistic, just utterly psychotic, and Austin Butler chooses a unique way to speak and use his voice. He had just a really gravelly, distinctive voice. And I was just constantly thinking of Michael Wincott whenever Austin Butler was speaking. Are we having fun or what? Austin Butler was pretty entertaining, and I love how he hams it up in the role. I wish the characters maybe were a little more engaging, a little more interesting for me and emotionally investing. The movie works so well on a visual level and as a piece of hardcore science fiction that I can kind of overlook those flaws of characterization. And this movie clocks at 3.5 hours. It's massive. It's a commitment. Just like reading the book is a commitment. This film is not one to watch passively, and it's a kind of movie that really wants the audience to actively engage with it and interact with it. And I love that. I love that it's really inviting you to have this active relationship with it, and that's what makes it so immersive. And I think I would recommend going to see it like on a weekend or a Friday night, like a late showing, and just like let your imagination escape into this alternative world. At least that's what I did. So definitely gets my recommendation. So that's my review of Dune Part 2. Hope you enjoyed it, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll look forward to bringing you more content soon here.